we have assembled here this afternoon to bid farewell to His Lordship, My Lord Honorable Mr. Justice Mohammad Rafiq, Chief Justice High Court of Himachal Pradesh, on the eve of my Lord's limiting the office of the Chief Justice on superannuation. I seek permission of my Lord Honorable the Chief Justice to commence the proceedings. I request Honorable Justice Sabina ji to please address.
Honorable Mr. Justice Mohammad Rafiq, Chief Justice, His Lordship's wife, Mrs. Seema Rafiq, and other family members, my esteemed brother and sister judges, retired judges, Shri Ashok Sharma, Advocate General, Shri Ajay Kochhar, Chairman Bar Council of Himachal Pradesh, Shri Lavneesh Kanwar, President Himachal Pradesh High Court Bar Association, Shri Balram Sharma, Assistant Solicitor General of India, senior advocates, members of the bar, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, media persons, staff of the registry and all other participants present here. A very good afternoon to all. Today we have gathered here to bid farewell to Honorable Mr. Justice Mohammad Rafiq, Chief Justice of this court. Years have passed since His Lordship was elevated to the bench. Being head of this institution, he has always guided both his colleagues and bar members whenever His Lordship's guidance was needed. As everyone knows, His Lordship belongs to state of Rajasthan. After attaining professional degree of law, His Lordship had practiced in almost all branches of law and also worked as assistant government advocate in the state of Rajasthan. His sheer hard work was recognized and His Lordship was elevated as judge of the Rajasthan High Court on 15th May 2006. His Lordship worked as acting Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court on 2 occasions. His Lordship also remained the Executive Chairman of the Rajasthan State Legal Services Authority and the Administrative Judge of the Rajasthan High Court. It is imperative to share that after spending more than 13 years as Judge of Rajasthan High Court, His Lordship got an opportunity to serve in the Northeast upon being appointed as Chief Justice of Meghalaya High Court. From there, His Lordship was transferred to the land which saw civilizations in it under great kings as Chief Justice of High Court of Orissa. From there, His Lordship came to Jabalpur and served one of the largest states of India, being Chief Justice of Madhya Pradesh High Court, having circuit benches at Indore and Gwalior. With such vast experience to his credit, His Lordship came to this court, this beautiful state, as Chief Justice of this court, where all of us got an opportunity to work with him and learn from him. I still remember, while welcoming His Lordship as Chief Justice, I did share that when from Rajasthan High Court, His Lordship left for Meghalaya High Court, I had participated in the farewell ceremony. I got an opportunity to deliver welcome note on His Lordship's assuming charge as Chief Justice of this court. What else can be coincidence that now I am part of this farewell ceremony? Let me share that it was a wonderful opportunity to work with Honorable Chief Justice, who never takes rest and is always concerned about work. The presence of His Lordship has made us realize the importance of work in life. Those who have worked with him and appeared before him can vouch for the fact that he is a man of simplicity and above all, a scholar. His commitment to the cause of justice is unparalleled. Positive outlook and friendly attitude of His Lordship have always inspired us. I had the privilege to share bench with him. His Lordship does not lose his cool at any point of time and manages to diffuse a surcharge situation in the courtroom with a nice witty remark. During his short tenure, His Lordship has given various landmark judgments and has decided 5 full bench references. During the tenure of His Lordship, various projects such as pagination module, virtual court, Android mobile application, updated e-certified copy module and e-filing module for the High Court as well as for the District Judiciary have been launched. In addition to this foundation stones for construction of judicial complexes at subdivisions Karsod and Banjar have been laid. With the praiseworthy efforts of His Lordship, Udyog Bhavan building has been allotted to the High Court, which is to be used as additional complex for the High Court to accommodate the officials of the registry who are facing dearth of accommodation for the time being. Not only this, with the efforts of His Lordship, a big chunk of land for the construction of residences of the judicial officers stationed at Shimla, as well as for the officials of the High Court and District Judiciary has been identified, which will cater to the paucity of accommodation being faced at present by the officers and the officials of the judiciary. His hard work and devotion towards duty will always be missed by each one of us who are present here, and all those who are not present but were fortunate enough to work with you, sir. We will keep your gestures forever with us. His Lordship is not only a great judge, but is also a very good singer. In the end, I would like to say, I would say that it is hard to say goodbye. This court will miss you. I thank His Lordship for the guidance and cooperation rendered to this court. On behalf of my brother and sister judges, as well as the entire legal fraternity of Himachal Pradesh, I wish him a very peaceful, contented and happy life ahead. All the best for your upcoming life. Thank you.
Now I request Shri Ashok Sharma, Learned Advocate General, Himachal Pradesh, to please address.
My Lord Chief Justice, Honorable Mr. Justice Mohammad Rafiq, His Lordship's family members, Honorable Mr. Justice Sarina, Honorable Mr. Justice Ajok Singh Chauhan, Honorable Mr. Justice Vivek Singh Thakur, Honorable Mr. Justice Ajay Mohan Goyal, Honorable Mr. Justice Sandeep Sharma, Honorable Mr. Justice Chandra Bhushan Barwadia, Honorable Mr. Justice Ms. Justice Jyosna Riwal, Honorable Mr. Justice Satya Advadia, their respective spouses, Honorable Judges, respective Honorable Judges, Honorable Mr. Justice Shil Nagu, Honorable Mr. Justice Sujay Paul, Honorable Judges of the High Court of Madhya Pradesh, Shri Ajay Pochhar, Chairman Bar Council of Himachal Pradesh, Shri Ravnesh Kumar, President, HP High Court Bar Association, Shri Balram Sharma, Learned Assistant Solicitor General of India, Honorable Retired Judges, learned members of the Bar, distinguished guests, officials from the electronic and print media, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have assembled here to bid farewell to Honorable Mr. Justice Mohammad Rafiq, the present Chief Justice, on his Lordship limiting office on superannuation. My Lord was born on 25th May 1960 at Sijangarh in Kuru district of Rajasthan. My Lord did his graduation in Commerce in 1980, then LLB in 1984 and MCom in 1986 from the University of Rajasthan. My Lord was enrolled in the Bar Council of Rajasthan on 8th July 1984. My Lord practiced in almost all branches of law and conducted cases pertaining to constitutional matters, service matters, land acquisition, land revenue cases, preventive detention cases, custom and excise matters, railway claim cases, tax matters, company matters and criminal matters before the High Court of Rajasthan. Apart from private practice, my Lord had a vast experience in representing various institutions and governments in the courts. My Lord has served as Assistant Government Advocate for the state of Rajasthan from 15th July 1986 to 21st of December 1987. Thereafter, as my Lord served as a Deputy Government Advocate, that is equivalent to the Deputy Advocate General here in the High Court of Rajasthan, and represented various government departments of the state of Rajasthan, such as Department of Cooperatives, Finance, Forest, Irrigation, Urban Development, Animal Husbandry for 5 years from 1993 to 1998. My Lord represented the Union of India as Standing Counsel for the Government of India from 1992 to 2001 before the High Court of Rajasthan. His Lordship also represented the Indian Railways, Rajasthan State Pollution Control Board, Rajasthan Board of Muslim Bucks, Chairman Jaipur Development Authority, Rajasthan Housing Board, and Jaipur Municipal Corporation before the High Court of Rajasthan. My Lord was appointed as an Additional Advocate General for the state of Rajasthan on 7th January 1999 and worked as such till the date of his Lordship's elevation as Judge of Rajasthan High Court. My Lord's legal acumen and capabilities were recognized when on 15th May 2006, when consequent upon his Lordship's appointment, my Lord assumed the office of Judge of Rajasthan High Court. My Lord remained as Acting Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court twice, from 7th April 2019 to 4th May 2019, and from 23rd September 2019 to 5th October 2019. My Lord served as Executive Chairman of Rajasthan State Legal Services Authority and also as an Administrative Judge of Rajasthan High Court prior to his Lordship's elevation as Chief Justice on 30th November 2019. My Lord served as the Chief Justice of High Court of Meghalaya from 13th November 2019 to 26th April 2020. Thereafter, my Lord remained as Chief Justice of Odisha High Court from 27th April 2020 till 2nd of January 2021, and thereafter as Chief Justice of Madhya Pradesh High Court from 3rd January 2021. My Lord assumed the office of Chief Justice of High Court of Himachal Pradesh on 14th October 2021. My Lord possesses great qualities of head and heart. My Lord is thoroughly noble, pleasant, humble, with distinctive intelligence and generosity. My Lord is a brilliant and complete judge, a multi-talented person, and has a passion to undertake every job with passion, commitment, and honesty. My Lord is a true visionary, having legal pragmatism, whose endeavor has been to develop the faith of people in administration of justice. My Lord is a man with impeccable character and above all is a fine human being. My Lord's association with this institution has been wonderful. We on this side have learnt a lot from my Lord. Patience and pleasantness are some of my Lord's many virtues which all of us should try to imbibe in our day-to-day life. My Lord Justice Mohammad Rafiq has a vast experience in dealing with the various branches of law. His Lordship's logic and reasoning is apparent from his judgments. The hallmark of my Lord's judgment is to maintain efficacy of judicial process and the rule of law, but with a tinge of compassion wherever necessary. My Lord is known for his scholarly treatment of even complex legal issues and has penned various landmark judgments. During the short stint of about 7 months in this High Court, my Lord have taken initiative for deciding various full bench references, which led to not only curtailing the litigation on those issues, but also in this manner redress the grievances of the people. Without stopping here, my Lord has brought reforms by introducing e-pagination methodology and High Court mobile app to streamline the system not only in the judiciary but also the advocates, their clerks, and the litigants. E-pagination will go a long way in saving the precious time of the Honorable Court. Once a file is properly paginated by the lawyer, a case which otherwise may take 30 minutes to conclude can be concluded in 15 minutes, that too without any confusion. Superannuation or remitting the office marks the culmination of a phase, but it is certainly the beginning of a wonderful new living for a noble, humble, generous person, because the best is yet to come. While bidding farewell to my Lord, I, on behalf of the state of Himachal Pradesh, my colleagues in the Office of Advocate General, and my own behalf, extend my warm and best wishes for good health, prosperity, success, happiness, and long and successful life to my lords and the family ahead. Jai Hind.
Now I request Shri Ajay Kochar, Learner Chairman, Himachal Pradesh Bar Council, to please address.
My Lord, Honorable Chief Justice, Mr. Mohammad Rafiq, and my Lord's spouse, Srimati Seema Rafiq, Honorable MS Justice Srimati Sarmina, Honorable Mr. Justice Talwar Singh Chauhan, Honorable Mr. Justice Vivek Singh Thakur, Honorable Mr. Justice Ajay Mohan Goyal, Honorable Mr. Justice Sandeep Sharma, Honorable Mr. Justice Chandrabhushan Barwalia, Honorable MS Justice Srimati Jyotsna Kamalua, Honorable Mr. Justice Satyan Vaidya, and respected spouses of my lords. Honorable Judges of the High Court of Himachal Pradesh, Shri Ashok Sharma, Advocate General for Himachal Pradesh, Shri Ramesh Kanwar, Learned President of Himachal Pradesh High Court Bar Association, Shri Balram Sharma, Learned Assistant Solicitor General of India for Himachal Pradesh High Court, respected senior advocates, worthy members of the Bar Council, esteemed members of the High Court Bar Association, and other esteemed bar associations, Registrar General, Secretary Law to the Government of Himachal Pradesh, District Judges, Registrars, Judicial Officers, officials of the High Court of Himachal Pradesh, media personnel, ladies and gentlemen. It's a matter of great privilege for me to address today very reference called in the honor of Honorable Mr. Justice Mohammad Rafiq, Chief Justice of High Court of Himachal Pradesh, who shall commit the office of Chief Justice of High Court of Himachal Pradesh on 24th May 2022 afternoon, after rendering valuable and distinguished service firstly to the legal profession and then to the judiciary. These proceedings are meant to share and honor some thoughts on meaningful judicial theories, share words of goodwill, best wishes, express gratitude to His Lordship on behalf of the members of the Bar Council of Himachal Pradesh and entire legal fraternity of the state of Himachal Pradesh, who desire to say something on his steadiness, politeness, humility, integrity, hard work, fairness, and uprightness of His Lordship. My Lord has served as 26th Chief Justice of this sacred institution after being transferred from High Court of Madhya Pradesh. Honorable Mr. Justice Mohammad Rafiq is known for his humility, scholarship, tenacity, and realism. His Lordship was born on 25th May 1960 at Sujangarh in Chu district of Rajasthan. His Lordship did his bachelor degree from GHS College, PG College, Sujangarh, Rajasthan in 1980, LLB in 1984, and Masters in 1986. His Lordship was enrolled as an advocate shortly after getting his LLB degree and started practice as an advocate. His Lordship practiced exclusively in Rajasthan High Court in almost all branches of law, especially concerning constitutional matters, service matters, land acquisition cases, land revenue cases, voluntary detention cases, custom and excise matters, railway claim cases, tax matters, company matters, and criminal matters. His Lordship worked as the Assistant Advocate General as well as Deputy Government Advocate for the state of Rajasthan. My Lord appeared before the High Court as Panel Advocate for various departments of state government and also represented the Union of India as Standing Counsel. His Lordship was appointed as Additional Advocate General for the state of Rajasthan on 7th January 1999 and worked as such till His Lordship elevation to the bench on 15th May 2006. His Lordship served as a judge and acting Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court twice from 7th April 2019 to 4th May 2019 and from 23rd September 2019 to 5th October 2019. My Lord remained Executive Chairman of Rajasthan State Legal Services Authority and Administrative Judge of Rajasthan High Court prior to elevation as Chief Justice. My Lord remained as Chief Justice of Meghalaya High Court, Odisha High Court and Madhya Pradesh High Court before assuming the charge of the Chief Justice of Himachal Pradesh High Court. It is noteworthy to mention here that His Lordship is also a lifetime member of the Indian Law Institute and also a member of its governing council. His Lordship has tremendously worked hard as an advocate and as a judge, due to which His Lordship has earned accolades and recognition across the country. Therefore, it's apt to call His Lordship a great achiever and epitome of success. The father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, aptly said, I quote, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. I unquote. In the course of his judicial career, my Lord has delivered several landmark judgments and decisions in many areas of substantive and procedural law. Through his industry, patience, his sound knowledge of law and fairness in conduct of cases, the trust that people repose in our judicial system has been greatly enhanced. Your Lordship, legal perspective and juristic legacy will be remembered in various landmark judgments. Every lawyer who appeared before Your Lordship always felt at home and never felt uneasy. It is due to his hard work, diligence, adherence to the professional ethics, and ability to work in a team that he has gained the trust of the members of the bar who feel him as one of their own. As the chairman of the Bar Council of Himachal Pradesh, I believe, and I speak for the entire legal fraternity of Himachal Pradesh when I say Lordship is a great thinker capable of understanding the finer points of law and its impact on the society. The aptitude for a judicial career does not come from a position alone. In addition to this, like any discipline, it has to be cultivated and acquired cautiously. To know about judges' aptitude, his judgments and decisions are the testimony. Honorable Mr. Chief Justice Mohammad Rafiq, ironclad judgments and decisions are the testimony to the judicial aptitude, as well as the hard work his Lordship has put. We are fortunate to have you, Your Lordship, and we are sure that your judgments and decisions in Himachal Pradesh High Court will shine as a beacon of light in times to come in the horizon of our state. His Lordship is well known for introducing several reforms in the court functioning system, which can be gathered from the fact that during his tenure as Chief Justice of Himachal Pradesh High Court, my Lord was successful in launching an Android-based mobile application for High Court, updated certified copy module, pagination module, e-filing, and certain other projects which are still in progress, like process for making High Court premises Wi-Fi and iOS-based mobile application, laid foundation stone for judicial courts at Banjar in District Kullu and Kasur in District Mandi, opening of virtual court for the traffic offences at Shimla, getting the building of the industry department transferred in the name of the High Court for its expansion. Furthermore, during the present tenure of my Lord as the Honourable Chief Justice, the balance always tilted in favour of the reforms in justice delivery system, and the result of which, with the innovative and constructive ideas, measures undertaken by this Honourable Court, there is a huge reduction in the pendency and backlog cases in the Honourable High Court. Though His Lordship had a short tenure with us, he, apart from deciding the long pending matters in the courts of my Lord, also decides all the long pending matters referred to the full bench except one. Honourable Mr. Justice Mohammad Rafiq is a superior man because he is modest in his speech but exceeds in his action. The legal fraternity and good smart agents of Himachal will always vouch for Honourable Chief Justice Mohammad Rafiq because his conscience is clear as crystal. His judgments are the testimony to the oath he has fulfilled towards the Constitution of India. He has fulfilled his duty without fear or favour. An integral part of his judgeship was the need to minimize personal bias in decision making uninfluenced by the prior shape, ideology or other non-legalistic factors. The manner in which he conducted himself brought him accolades and laurels. The fragrance emitted by his outstanding work reached out everywhere. He has evolved and emerged as an accomplished judge, capable of doing social justice and applying legal principles with pragmatic approach. He also kept the whole bar on an even keel and creating a cohesive culture with the bar and the bench. While summing up, I refer the quote of a great Chinese philosopher, Confucius. I quote, "The superior man is modest in his speech but exceeds in his action," I unquote, as this is squarely applicable to our Honourable Mr. Justice Mohammad Rafiq. At this solemn moment of bidding adieu, I, on behalf of the members of the Bar Council of Himachal Pradesh and on behalf of the entire legal fraternity of Himachal Pradesh, take this opportunity of wishing His Lordship success in his future endeavours. Please accept our best wishes and we pray the Almighty God to grant my Lord's longevity, good health, prosperity and happiness. Thank you.
Now we request Sri Lamneesh Kamat, Learned President, High Court Bar Association, to please address.
My Lord, Honorable Justice, Chief Justice Mohammad Rafiq, Honorable Justice M.S. Sabina, Honorable Justice Talok Chauhan, Honorable Justice Vivek Singh Thakur, Honorable Justice Ajay Mohan Goyal, Honorable Justice Mr. Sandeep Sharma, Honorable Mr. Justice Chandra Bhushan Barwalia, Honorable Mr. Justice Jyotsna Rawal Dua, and Honorable Mr. Justice Satyam Vaidya and their respective spouses, Honorable Judges of Madhya Pradesh High Court who are here with us today, Honorable former Judges, Shri Ashok Sharma, Learned Advocate General, Shri Ajay Kochar, Chairman, Bar Council of Himachal Pradesh, Shri Balram Sharma, Learned Assistant Solicitor General of India, respected senior advocates, esteemed members of the Bar, Registrar General and other registrars, Shri Biri Singh Sinsiwar, Senior Advocate and former Chairman, Bar Council of India, who is with us today, Shri Ganesh Meena, Additional Advocate General, State of Rajasthan, who is also here with us today, staff of the registry, distinguished guests and persons from the print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen. We have a very good afternoon. We have assembled here today to bid farewell to our Honorable Chief Justice, Justice Mohammad Rafiq, who demits office on superannuation after a distinguished and fulfilling career of almost 2 decades. Destiny played its romance, disfavoring your Lordship and favouring us. Disfavouring because your Lordship was not called to the apex court, which you richly deserve. Favour to us because we have been able to have you here with us till now. Honourable Mr. Justice Mohammad Rafiq was born on 25th of May 1960 at Sujangarh in Churu district of Rajasthan. His Lordship completed BCom in the year 1980 and went on to complete LLB in the year 1984 and MCom in the year 1986 from University of Rajasthan. His Lordship got enrolled with the Bar Council of Rajasthan on 8th of July 1984. Your Lordship's legal career commenced exclusively in Rajasthan High Court at Jaipur, where his lordship practiced in almost all branches of law. His lordship worked as assistant government advocate, deputy government advocate, and additional advocate general for the state of Rajasthan. Your lordship practiced as penal advocate for various departments, boards, and corporations of the state of Rajasthan. His lordship also represented Union of India as a standing counsel. Your lordship's judicial journey began on 15th of May 2006 when his lordship was appointed as judge of the Rajasthan High Court. During this judicial journey, his lordship worked as acting Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court and thereafter as Chief Justice of the High Court of Meghalaya, Orissa, and Madhya Pradesh. On 15th of October 2021, his lordship was administered oath as Chief Justice of this Honorable Court. Though the tenure of my lord was very short in this Honorable High Court, but in this short span, his lordship was every inch a justice and Chief Justice. His lordship worked hard and never struggled to give the right decision in every case that came before him. Whether won or lost, every lawyer left your court with the feeling that the case was considered fully and fairly. His lordship always gave a patient hearing to one and all with consummate ease and always maintained a very balanced temper in and out of court. Your lordship allowed every advocate to argue his case freely, irrespective of his standing in the bar. Throughout his distinguished career, his lordship has delivered numerous landmark judgments on various jurisdictions and have immensely contributed toward the growth of procedural and substantive law. Through his judgments, his lordship dealt with almost all streams of law, and what we saw was the immense capacity of his lordship to do justice, not merely by following the precedents, but by setting the precedents. His lordship never found himself lost merely because there was no precedents on a particular point which required him to take a view. Rather, he carved out his own path and rendered a large number of landmark judgments. Any discussion on the judgments of my lord would be incomplete without remembering the famous words of Winston Churchill. He said, and I quote, "All great things are simple, and many can be expressed in a single word: freedom, justice, honor, duty, mercy, and hope." Unquote. Your lordship, through his judgment, has nurtured each of these virtues. I may highlight few significant judgments delivered by him in this court. In state of Himachal Pradesh and others versus Sitaram and others connected matter, he held that even after the right of property enshrined under Article 91F was deleted by the 44th Amendment to the Constitution, the Article 300A still retains the right to property as the constitutional right as well as legal right, and mandates that no person can be deprived of his property except by authority in law. He held that action of the state in dispossessing a citizen of his private property without following the due process of law would be violative of Article 300A of the Constitution of India, as also negate his human right. It was emphatically held that right to property has been acknowledged not only constitutional as well as statutory, but also human right to be construed in the realm of individual rights, such as right to health, livelihood, shelter, employment, etc. in a welfare state. In Shimla College of Education versus State of Himachal Pradesh, it was held that the power of the state in introducing norms by means of holding common entrance tests to admit students in a course over and above the norms provided by NCT can be traced to 2025 list 3 of the 7th schedule to the Constitution. In Baldev Singh versus State of Himachal Pradesh and other connected matters, while interpreting Rule 56 of Fundamental Rule vis-a-vis notification amending Rule 56 of Fundamental Rules in State of Himachal Pradesh, it was held that in case an class 4 employee is engaged prior to 10th of May 2001, he will continue to serve till 60 years of age. His lordship decided long pending full bench matters, and in doing so decided 5 full bench matters. His lordship's techno-savvy approach played a vital role in adoption of technology by this court. During his lordship tenure, Android-based mobile application for High Court was launched. Updated certified copy module, pagination module were also launched during his lordship's tenure. iOS-based mobile application is in progress. Android-based mobile application is providing benefit not only to the lawyers but also to the litigants, particularly litigants from the remote areas of the state. Virtual courts were set up for traffic offences at Shimla during the tenure of his lordship. His Lordship laid foundation stone of judicial court complexes at Banjar and Consort. Retirement is not a nice thing to happen, but good professionals never retire. The field of law is still there for your Lordship with its magnificent arms stretched out to welcome you. Time is the most democratic resource in the world. We all have the same amount of time at our disposal, but how we make use of it varies greatly. In your case, Lordship, almost 2 decades spent as a judge has been well spent. Saint Augustine said, and I quote, "Life is a time continuum along which we constantly move from the day we are born until the day we die. There is no dress rehearsal for life. We only get one chance to live, and that is now. The past exists in our memory, the present exists in our minds, and future in our vision." Unquote. Your Lordship leaves us physically from the position of Chief Justice, but you will always remain in our thoughts. From the core of our hearts, sir, I, on my behalf and on behalf of the Himachal Pradesh High Court Bar Association, wish you the very best, a long and healthy life filled with more creative output and fulfillment. You are respected and loved by us and will be remembered fondly and with the respect due to a judge who has dedicated nearly 2 decades of his life serving the courts. I also extend my best wishes and congratulate your esteemed family members. Thank you.
Now we request Shri Balram Sharma, Learned Assistant Solicitor General of India, to please address.
My Lord, Honorable the Chief Justice, Honorable Judges, Honorable former Judges, family members of the Honorable the Chief Justice and companion judges, Learned Advocate General, Chairman Bar Council, President of the Bar Association, Secretary and other office bearer of the Bar Association, Senior Advocates, Learned Registrars, Standing Counsel for the Government of India and the Government of Himachal Pradesh, my colleagues at the Bar, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity to extend a special welcome to the Honorable Judges of High Court of Madhya Pradesh, Honorable Justice Sujoy Paul, Honorable Mr. Justice Shir Nagu, former Chairman Bar Council of India, Learned Additional Advocate General for the State of Rajasthan. Your presence made this unforgettable event even more unforgettable. I thank you for finding time from your busy day and coming to this event. We are here to say an official and very public farewell to one of our greatest Chief Justice, who has been with us for a meaningful tenure of 223 days. My previous speakers have already spoken about His Lordship's education, career, great legal acumen, landmark judgments. I will not be speaking about that, except to say that my Lord enriched our institution both intellectually and personally, bringing to his work the rigorous case law based approach as well as Indian practitionism and common sense, not to miss his inimitable sense of humor. Today His Lordship will be carrying very sweet memories from here. When the history of the High Court will be written, it will be recorded that maximum full court references were decided during this tenure. The general public and advocates were waiting for mobile application for a long time. I am proud that the work of giving the mobile application to Himachal Pradesh was also done during this tenure. There is a need for more space for the High Court for a long time. That work is also done in your time, and we have been provided with the building of the Industry Department for the High Court. In this tenure, land has also been selected for the residence of judicial officers and ministerial staff. Thus the copy became history and arrangements were made to make online certified copies of order easily available to all. The people of Kullu Banjar were demanding judicial court complex, and during this tenure, the foundation stone of the court complex was laid. Many notable decisions were also taken during this tenure. The guidelines given in prison reform, old age home, Machitpurni Mandir, Nikla Mata Mandir shows His Lordship readiness to deal with issue of public interest. I see with humility that sometimes the atmosphere in the court used to get tense, and Honorable the Chief Justice and our dear Learned Advocate General used to sort it out with their smile. Amidst confusion and reconciliation, mischief and decency, the fairness of the fellow judges, the mediation, the gentleness, and His Lordship forbearance made this tenure an unforgettable one. On this day, I would also like to remember our former judges and Chief Justice and congratulate the Chief Justice for joining the stalwarts who uphold the judicial oath to do justice without favor, affection or evil. Lordship, this is possible because there is a feeling at the core of Indian judiciary that we oppose each other in the court, but we are not enemies. We oppose on the basis of facts, on the basis of law, and sometimes this opposition is strong. But even the strongest opposition does not come in the way of our relationship. His Lordship, temper and lack of anger were the biggest contributors to the smooth functioning of the court. His Lordship proved by his conduct that it is most important to always be encouraging and never discouraging. And His Lordship lived by those great words, be encouraging, not discouraging. Always choose hope. This is Lordship's attitude toward life. It is always very difficult to sum up in just few words a gratitude to a person like Honorable the Chief Justice. We work with words every day, but I am afraid my words here today have been inadequate to describe the life that brought so much to us all. I would like to say to our Chief Justice that we are extremely saddened by his departure. Retirement marks the end of working for someone else and the beginning of living for yourself. So if I may just say, Honorable the Chief Justice, on a parting note, for a life of judging and leadership that you have completed with grace and aplomb, that the best is yet to come. I, on behalf of my colleagues who are standing counsel for the Government of India and on my own behalf, extend our deep gratitude for your leadership and convey our best wishes for your continued good health, a long life and fulfilling occupations in the future as well, and a request, Dua mein yaad rakhna. Thank you.
Now I request my Lord Honorable the Chief Justice to kindly deliver his Lordship's address.
My esteemed sister, Miss Sabina, my esteemed sister and brother judges of the Diet, Justice Steve Nagu, Senior Judge of the State High Court, Justice Sunil Par, Senior Judge of the State High Court, former judges of this High Court, Sri Ashok Sharma, Standard Advocate General of the State, Sri Ajay Kochar, Chairman Bar Council of Himachal Pradesh, Sri Lavnesh Tawar, Trusted HK High Court Bar Association, Sri Balram Sharma, Assistant Solicitor General of India, Sri B.S. Simsinwar, Senior Advocate and former Chairman Bar Council of India, Sri Ganesh Meena, Additional Advocate General of the State of Rajasthan, and other advocates who have come to attend this function from Jaipur, learned senior advocates and members of the bar, Registrar General, other registrars and legal officers, the Principal Secretary of Law State of Himachal Pradesh, and other officers and staff of the High Court, respected spouses of Honorable Judges, my wife Seema, and my other family members present here, representatives of print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen. A very good afternoon to all of you. I am deeply touched and very much overwhelmed by the sentiments expressed and accolades showered on me by Sister Justice Sabina and the representatives of the bar. With all humility at my command, I genuinely believe that you have all been very generous in assessing my abilities, qualities, and legal acumen. I do not deserve most of the commendations heaped upon me. Even then, I humbly bow to your sentiments. Your words shall always remain east in my heart and guide me to go on the right path. The day has arrived when I have to bid adieu to this historical institution after completing 16 long years of service on the bench to which I was elevated after practicing 22 years at the bar. I cannot thank enough the members of the bar and my colleagues on the bench wherever I worked, be it Rajasthan, Meghalaya, Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, and now Himachal Pradesh, for their love, affection, bounteous cooperation throughout extended to me. In the life of an institution, no one is permanent, no one is indispensable. People may come and go. What is permanent is the institution. We, the judges and the lawyers, have all our strength as well as failings, but all of us have our identity and command respect in society only because of this great institution of judiciary. People have immense faith in this great institution. My message to young advocates is that there is no shortcut to success. In my humble view, consistent hard work, tempered with sincerity, integrity, and perseverance is the key to success. never compromise on the ethics for short-term gains to earn easy money. Once that kind of image is stuck on you, it will be difficult to get rid of the same. Set a goal in life and start moving in that direction. Your pace may be slow, but if you keep moving in the right direction, you are bound to reach the destination. It is gratifying to note that we have got many young, energetic and promising young lawyers at Simla, especially female lawyers, who are going to be the leaders of the bar in future. What is however disturbing to note is that Gurukul Parampara is fading fast. In old days, a new advocate could never think of starting practice independently after joining the bar. He would have to necessarily work in the chambers of a senior and spend minimum 5 to 7 years before he would start independent practice. That gives you an opportunity to learn and seek guidance. In fact, that also gives you the identity, to borrow the words of eminent jurist Falius Nariman, to which stable you belong to. That gives you a sense of belonging with chambermaids of senior as also the seniors. That is where you learn to respect seniors and be considerate to the opposite counsel, and above all learn court management and etiquettes. That in my view is one such lesson which every young advocate should learn. Here I am tempted to quote Abraham Lincoln on what he said about lawyering, and I quote, "The leading rule for the lawyer, as for the man of every other calling, is diligence. Leave nothing for tomorrow which can be done today. Never let your correspondence fall behind. Whatever piece of business you have in hand, before stopping, do all the labor pertaining to it which can then be done." Unquote. My appeal to all the seniors, designated or otherwise, is that they must spare some time, maybe only an hour in a week, to teach the young lawyers the concepts of law with the help of reading case law, which is where they struggle the most in their formative years. Seniors should also inculcate in them the court manners, courtesy, and etiquette, which means not only respecting the court but also the other advocates. Especially the young advocates should raise the level of their preparedness, and whenever they find any difficulty, they should not hesitate in approaching any senior advocate for guidance. No one shall disappoint you. One more thing I would like to say here, looking to the state of docket exposure in all the courts, both in terms of rising number of pendency, which is long time taken for disposal of the cases. Now perhaps the time has come where, in order to optimize the use of judicial time, hearings should be preceded by advance written submissions, and oral arguments should be curtailed with a fixed time limit given to the counsel for either side. A piece of advice to brother and sister judges as well, to read the briefs at home for best time management. Immediately on arrival at Simla, I came to know about the space constraint faced by the court staff and the members of the bar in the existing High Court building. I also learnt about the pending proposal for increase in the strength of High Court judges from 13 to 17. I am gratified to note that I was able to persuade to the state government to agree for increase in the strength of High Court judges by 4, which is likely to be notified shortly. I also thank the state government for agreeing to my suggestion of allotting 7-story building of the industry department just adjacent to the High Court, looking to the difficulty of space constraint which might aggravate after the strength is increased. We could also identify a big chunk of land for allotment to the High Court for construction of residential quarters for approximately 700 staff members of the High Court, and also another big chunk of land for construction of residential quarters for approximately 400 staff members of the district court of Simla. Coming to know about the fact that there is no independent residential facility provided to judicial officer posted at Simla, we got the accommodation allotted, and who would get the accommodation allotted from the state pool. We have also identified land at a very good location for providing independent housing accommodation to approximately 40 judicial officers posted in Simla in different capacities. Not only these lands have been identified, but process for their allotment has also been initiated, which I am sure would be vigorously pursued by the incoming Chief Justice and my colleagues from the bench to ultimately realize this dream project. Today only in the full court, we have amended the SP High Court rules to empower the Registrar Judicial of the High Court to record evidence so as to save the judicial time of judges dealing with civil suits on the original side. In IT sector, we have launched an Android-based mobile app for the High Court, which can be converted into mobile app for a particular district court also. This mobile app can be used both in English and Hindi, and iOS version of the mobile app is under preparation and shall be launched very soon. We have also updated the certified copy module, and virtual court for the traffic offences at Simla has also been inaugurated. We have also launched designation module and updated system of e-filing. Tenders have also been floated for making the High Court campus premises Wi-Fi enabled, which would provide access to free Wi-Fi to not only the advocates and judges but also officers and staff of the industry as well as litigators. In the second phase, there is a plan for extending similar facility of Wi-Fi to all the district court complexes. I shall be grateful to all the learned members of the bar for always providing me fullest cooperation in smooth functioning of the court. I can say with all humility at my command that I never ever allowed the burden of justice ride my head either in court or outside. My endeavor has always been to never hurt any advocate regardless of his or her stature, seniority, or even court staff regardless of his distinction. Even then, if perchance unwittingly I ever hurt anyone, I beg to be pardoned. Here I would like to quote Jim Rohn, who said, and I quote, "The challenge of leadership is to be strong but not rude, be kind but not weak, be bold but not bully, be thoughtful but not lazy, be humble but not timid, be proud but not arrogant, have humor but without folly." Unquote. My wife Sima has always worked beside me all these years and has been my best friend in the journey of life. She has always been the source of strength and support to me, my son Naved, my daughters Nadia and Sania, as also my son-in-law Sabgar Kazmi, daughter-in-law Sana, and grandchildren Shahroz, Shahjib and Mahanur are those talking to whom provided relaxation in times of stress and fatigue after enormous amount of court work. My working as the Chief Justice of this court would not have been smooth but for the cooperation received from the officers of justice and my personal staff. I place on record my sincere thanks to Sri Virendra Singh, Registrar General, Sri J.K. Sharma, Registrar Vigilance, Sri Yogesh Jaswal, Registrar Rules, Sri Paras Yoga, Registrar Judicial, Sri Jaswant Singh, Registrar Administration, Sri Madan Kumar, District Assistant League Reserve, Sri Baldev Singh, former Registrar Vigilance, Sri Ajay Mehta, former Registrar Rules, Sri Hakikat Danda, CPC. I record my deep sense of appreciation for the assistance provided to me by Sri Premchand Verma, my Principal Private Secretary, Court Master Srimati Ubila, Sri Tilak Raj, and Sri C.M. Thakur, Secretary, Srimati Gazni, Secretary, Srimati Hemlata, Private Secretary, Sri Virendra, Private Secretary, and Sri Dinesh Bhargava, Private Secretary, Sri Raj Kumar, Usher, Sri Prem, Usher, and PSO Rakesh Verma, Bal Kisan, and Bittu, and all the other staff members attended with me in court as well as in my residential bungalow. As I come to the close of my address, I am tempted to quote someone's thought that life is like a book. Some chapters are sad, some are happy, and some are exciting. But if you never turn the page, you will never know what the next chapter holds. Unquote. Saying goodbye is not a happy expression, as it implies going away, which implies forgetting. So I would say, meet you all very soon. I wish all of you the best of luck, and may we share the vision of this country to a utopian one. Thank you. Jai Hind.
proceeding. Proceedings are closed. High tea has been arranged in the old auditorium. Respected guests as well as learned bar members are requested to please join. The same shall be followed by the guard of honor and red carpet send off in the honor of Honorable the Chief Justice.
I don't go anywhere. It look very bad.